Hey, so yeah, you know how some figures like come in boxes? Like I came in a box, but sometimes like especially retro figures, they come in like those you know, the cards. Yeah, those are the ones. But, what if, for example, you're too fat to fit in a regular box? You get a really big card. Oh, he's gonna kick my ass again, isn't he? Worth it. Ba-bam! Oh, hello, audience, and thank you for coming today for this review of Marvel Legends Spider Man, the animated show from 1994, inspired version of the Kingpin. I figure, if I can remember this correctly, that he was originally a Build a Figure, and they've released previous Build a Figures before in a big box, but I guess for this line, as they also released previous characters from the same show, which you're going to see on the back of this in a moment. They released him on a giant card. I thought it was actually pretty damn cool. Like I kind of regret that he's not in a box because I prefer unpacking boxes because you can, it's easier to keep them in a nice state. And now I'm gonna have to cut out the plastic here just to keep the cardboard intact and stuff like that. But that is a very big card. And he does look fantastic. Anyway, it is the warning small parts. Small parts. Small parts, audience. Small part. Oh, I guess the cane is pretty small. Anyway, we got some lovely art from the animated show there on the side. A typical logo of the animated show at the top. Oh, God, this was such a great show. And, of course, we got the same art there, the same logo there again. You can switch out the head, just in case you were wondering, like, why is there a decapitated head that looks exactly like him in the box? Wilson Fisk ruthlessly rules New York City's underworld with cunning and a keen intellect. And the rest is in languages I do not really speak. Well, der fiese und schlau Wilson Fisk kontrolliert der Unterwelt von New York City. In my best German. For which a German person will probably just bunk me on that anyway. And we got some French in there and Spanish, I'm guessing, and Italian? I am very much guessing. Anyway, off to the better parts there on the box. What else can you get? Spider-Man. Well, who doesn't already have Spider-Man? But can you actually ever get enough Spider-Man? Because we're, as everyone always knows, we need more Spider-Man. Parker, get on. Wait, but Parker, why are you wearing it on your face? Parker, what's this? Oh my God, you were Spider-Man all along. Traitor. Green Goblin. Gwen Stacy. The Daredevil and Marvel's Electro. I actually didn't pick up any of these other ones because I already had a Green Goblin. I already have a Spider-Man, even though it's the Ultimate Spider. I should pick up a regular Spider-Man, but I was actually more looking forward to the advanced suit, but I missed out on him, and now he's very, very expensive. I do have Electro, though. I do have Electro, but I picked him up loose from somebody else. And Daredevil, I prefer like the completely red armored Daredevil, so I will look into him. And Gwen Stacy, she came with a Mary Jane head. I might still pick that one up if I can still find it someday, but I'm not in a hurry because there's so many other good figures coming out. Anyway, let's get this big boy out of his card box thing stuff. Yes. And there we have the big man himself, the Kingpin of New York City. And he looks absolutely fantastic despite being beaten up in the face by Spider-Man, obviously, or Daredevil, whichever one you prefer to have him be beaten up by, I guess, if that's a thing. A preference in antagonist. Although I guess the Kingpin does fit a little bit more with Daredevil, but I am so... This animated cartoon was my introduction to the Kingpin, so I really associate him more with Spider-Man than Daredevil. Mostly because I only knew Daredevil as well from the Spider-Man cartoon at first, before I actually, you know, discovered a whole new world. Anyway, as for accessories, he does not come with that many, just the different heads, which is not beat up. For switching the head, you can basically just, you know, get your thumb underneath his chin until it pops up, and then just use every force you can muster to pop this one in. That's in already? There, it's in. And despite that, he also comes with his cane. Is he too tall? Or is the cane too short? He doesn't really grasp it. He mostly leans in on it. I'm not too sure how much I like this cane. It's too short to hit the floor from there. And you'll have to pose him, but the moment you pick him up, and if you move his hand forward too much, it just... He doesn't really have a grasp on it. That is kind of a shame. I guess it's more for him holding it like that. So you can just smack it on your head. Rah. Anyway, let's just take a closer look at Mr. Wilson Fisk, shall we? Now, he does have a very good looking noggin there. When you look at this head, you really know that the actor who played him in the Daredevil series on Netflix, oh, he was so perfectly casted. Like a taller someone would have perhaps been better, but that's where we get in like comic book physiques and stuff like that. And for a normal real life human person, he was absolutely perfectly casted. You got the buttons molded there, which I really like. You got like the seam lines for the suit on there molded as well. Absolutely fantastic. Now the arms are just, you know, regular molded plastic, but the little coat there goes over the body like that. It's like a soft rubber. And what I do like is you have like the, I'm not sure what the term is for this in English, the under jacket thingy. But you do get white like here. So in this case, when you pull off the jacket, and let's just do that, shall we? Let's just get this off him. Like he's just lounging at home. He doesn't need to be all. It still looks like it's just a regular shirt, you know, like a neat shirt, like the type of shirt you wear underneath a tuxedo. Sometimes they'll just have like a t-shirt body here, and then they'll have jacket coats there, which looks off, which looks like very strange. Like for Cyclops, if you take off his jacket, he'll have this blue X-Men uniform, and then he'll just have brown coat arms. But because just of this little bit just here, I can appreciate it very much. It just looks like a regular plain old shirt. And he's got this purple pants there. And the shoes, very neat, probably very expensive Italian shoes. Even got like a shoelace. molded in there, all those fine details. That is really nicely done. I can appreciate it very much. All right, Mr. Fisk. Let's just get you dressed up all fancy like we know you. But I do like that, and it really works. It just looks like the type of shirt you normally wear underneath a tuxedo then, if you just remove it like this. It works both ways. That is very, very nice. Now as for the articulation, you can see Spider-Man and Daredevil coming all the way from up there. And then he can look down upon them like this. His arms stretch out that far. I'm just popping his head off. Probably made him look too far up. And there he goes for the cuckoo exorcist. Whoop-ah. But yeah, he's got the full range on his arm there. He's got a single joint at the elbow, which is actually surprising. I would have figured this size would have like double jointed elbows. Then again, that would probably break up the sculpt too awkwardly. So for an aesthetic choice, I can understand it. I can understand it. Here I am, aesthetic, and then in my previous review, I couldn't even pronounce the word subtlety. Subtlety! There you have it, audience. For anyone who saw the previous video with metallic pink. Now, sometimes I'm thinking like, I should do these videos scripted, but I can't be arsed to write out a script for these. I just turn on the camera and I'll just do whatever. We'll see where it goes from there. That's always the best way, isn't it, audience? Why prepare? It's just about having fun. It's about having fun. Are you having fun, Mr. Fisk? No, you're probably not, because you know who I'm out to bring in for a comparison right after we finish with your articulation, because we're getting distracted here. Anyway, he does a spread about that much, which is quite impressive for a man his size, I would reckon. But then again, this guy was more muscle than you would expect. Anyway, yeah, it's off. Before we're getting distracted again, he can do a full exorcist with his legs. His knees can bend. Oh, some heavy knees. They bend about this far, which for very thick legs like this is fairly good, impressive, I would say. We do have some foot tilt there. Not too much, especially not to the other side. But we do get some. Also a little bit of a tilt at the ankle there for forward and up. Not too much of a range either. And I guess for a figure as the Kingpin, it is imposing enough. Oh, this is a shame. You can't have him like... Oh, he does have like the knuckle ring. I didn't even see that yet. He's got his little ring there. Very nice. I wanted him to be like, you know, but he can't pose like that. That is a shame. And again, it's a big figure. It might very maybe might have been able to be doable with. And even then, I think it's questionable. Guess you just have to accept the motion of its clobbering time. No, he can't reach that far. But I can forgive that. It's not the best articulated character, but he is so imposing and big. And on that note, let's put him down with not adult, because as I said with the card, I don't really have an adult Spider-Man yet, because the comics I officially started collecting first, I had some random issues in Dutch. with like the Amazing Spider-Man series, but sometimes apparently the shop just didn't get numbers in, or I guess they sold out before I also knew where you could probably buy comics on the internet and such. But I started out with the Ultimate Spider-Man, because for me that was like a point of like, oh, I can get a #1 for this because it's fairly recent. I can start from the beginning of Peter Parker's story and go on. Now there's some changes in the Ultimate Universe I didn't like that much, and some in hindsight I'm like, oh, that's actually a really cool retelling of the story, like with Carnage and stuff like that, and Venom. What I didn't like so much was the Green Goblin actually becoming like a Hulk, a flame-shooting Hulk. That was a bit like, ew, yeah, all right, fine, I'll accept it, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. But we're adults here, right? We can be like, okay, this is what it is. I don't like it as much as the original, but I can accept it, for this is not the same thing as the original. But my God, does that not look fantastic? Yeah, Spider-Man, I would faint too if Kingpin would spontaneously be decapitated. Oh my God. So if you try to pose his head a bit down too much, he pops off very easily, I guess. There. This is what I wanted to do. Now Spider-Man can throw insults at him and then get smacked in the head. I do really like. Everyone's just falling down today. It is what it is. Does this work? Because I think I remember one of those comic book panels where his head keeps popping off. It's probably because I got him with the chin against the scarf. The scarf is like hard plastic, so it just, like, I'm not too upset that the head comes off easy. It's better than the reverse. Can we get him posed like he's about to crush Spider-Man's head? Sort of, I guess. It's a good alternative for the hand instead of using the cane. But it does look absolutely perfect. If anyone has ever seen those comic panels of like Ultimate Spider-Man with the Kingpin, you know how imposing he was next to like 15-year-old Peter Parker. So these two together are absolutely magnificent. I should really, get back into like making photos with toys and stuff, but I wanted to build dioramas, but I didn't really get to it because I've been working on so many things and ideas and plans. And anyway, now I'm just here playing in front of the camera with my toys. And that's not what the audience is for. I'm guessing, at least that's not what you're here for. You were here for a judgment about this guy, and he is absolutely fantastic. As I said, not the best articulated or posable character in general, but I can forgive that just because of like the sheer size and like with the Hulk, it's something like the Hulk or Venom was a similar size. They have more of like the muscular figure, and he has like the pants and the jacket and all that stuff, which makes like joints, you know, like you can see here, like the muscles and stuff. You can incorporate the joints into the muscles. With the knee pads and everything, and you don't really have that so much for like a coat and pants like this. But what he lacks in articulation or posability, he does have a little bit of a, I think I forgot all about this. There, he did his creepy thriller thing. Anyway, what he lacks in all of that, he does make up in sheer looks and presence. Oh, his spider sense is tingling now, I'm betting. So I guess that is it for today. There's not so much posing I can do. That's like a cool final shot, I think. Let me figure this out. And there, this is what we can give you, audience. That's pretty fair, though. That's pretty like intimidating and stuff like that. You're just grabbing a hold on to Spider-Man, ready to swing him around and punch him in the face. Perhaps I should have used the angry face on there. I can just still pop the angry face on there, because he has a very firm grip on Spidey. I guess he cares more about beating up Spidey than for his cane. There. Now he's ready to beat up Spider-Man. Overall, he is a fantastic figure. He really is fantastic. Like the presence of it all. Like posability is a bit like, especially on the legs, you can't like really kneel him down and stuff like that, or just, you know, as if he's punching down Spider-Man into the floor. But overall, he is very imposing. He has a presence. A presence. Like royalty. Well, he is the Kingpin. The king of the pin. Except for the pin on his head, because his head keeps popping off. Anyway, enough bad jokes. You're not here for bad jokes, or are you? I hope not, because... Anyway, thank you for watching through this with me once again. Audience, I love you very much for your support. If you could, yeah, you know the whole shtick, you know. Kidnap the like button. Present them for ransom to the Kingpin. I don't care what you do. If you'd like to see more, subscribe, hang around, leave some comments down below. Are you planning on picking up? Are you looking for this guy? You know, I picked him up on HASBRO Pulse, America, USA. Thanks once again to my good friend, the Traveling Power Rangers fan. Oh, they were already sold out here by the time I was like, oh fuck, I really need to pick him up. And he was gone. And then he offered like, hey, you can ship it out to my box if you need Psycho Green and Metallic Pink. And then I saw that this guy was still on there as well. And I was like, yeah, come to Papa. Anyway, on this I bid thou farewell, audience, and I hopeth to see thou again. Until next time.